Nobody has gone through a tougher journey than this man before NFL stardom. He never knew his real father. At age 4, he accidentally shot himself in the foot. He lost friends to gun violence, he was homeless, slept in motels, and couch hopped his way through high school. Then, later on, he was cut by 7 NFL teams over and over, just to name at the bottom of the depth chart, invisible, almost giving up football entirely. But he didn't give up. And one day, on football's biggest stage, he exploded for 220 yards and 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game. One of the greatest postseason performances in NFL history. I don't want my family to live the way I live. He wanted something better for his life and for his family. This is what Raheem Mostert once said, and he meant it. This is going to be a story of rejection, resilience, and resurrection. This is Raheem Mostert, the NFL's ultimate underdog. The man who turned rejection into resurrection. Let's get into it. Raheem Mostert grew up in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's a quiet coastal town, better known for surfing than producing NFL talent. In fact, it's nicknamed the shark bite capital of the world, and young Raheem fit right in. He was a gifted surfer, a fearless skateboarder, and a lightning fast runner. We all know that now. Life wasn't easy for him though, by a long shot. Raised by a single mother, Michelle Beckwith, Raheem's childhood was marked by instability at large. The family had little money and often no stable place to live. This meant couch hopping, as I said, sleeping wherever he could, and relying heavily on his mother's grit to get him by, as she raised him the best she could. Shout out to her. Raheem never knew his biological father, and the man who stepped in was Kevin Beckwith. When Mostert was 3 or 4 years old, a gang invaded his home. As a result, Kevin bought a gun for protection, but the gun was hidden under a pile of laundry, a pretty stupid place to hide a gun with children in the home, and Mostert found it. That's a coincidence. And then he accidentally fired it into his own foot. Surprised he can still run as fast as he can. He must have healed well. Mostert's now actually able to joke around about this, which is kind of scary, and horrified his teammates a little, as he jokingly calls this his good luck charm. However, back to the story, later on, tragically, the man who bought the gun, Kevin Beckwith, shot his own son, Mostert's half-brother, 4 times, and completed 8 out of 10 years in prison. And Mostert cut all contact after that. No wonder. At New Smyrna Beach High School, he became a standout multi-sport athlete, excelling in track, football, and basketball, while also doing some surfing. On the track, he clocked Olympic-level sprint times, eventually earning a full ride scholarship to Purdue University. There, his speed made headlines, but he definitely remained under the radar when it came to pro scouts and his ability to get into the NFL. Despite all this, he stayed grounded, thanks to a few lifelines. One was coach Mike Porkchop Stokes, who along with his wife, Dan, sorry again if I mispronounced that, took on a new type of surrogate parent role for him, as his life was so unstable, they could provide some of that stability that he desperately needed. Dan drove him from practices home, and Coach Stokes became the father figure he never had, but sorely needed. He states, "Coach Stokes was not just my coach, he was my father figure and mentor." And sadly, Coach Stokes did end up passing away in 2020 from brain cancer. Mostert said losing him was devastating, but he carries his lessons with him every time he steps onto that field and tributes his play in football to Coach Stokes. R.I.P. Coach Stokes, you will surely be missed. After completing his college career, despite his natural raw speed, balance, and versatility, the NFL did not come calling. Mostert went undrafted in the 2015 NFL Draft. What followed this was a brutal reality check of trying to make any and all NFL teams. Over the next 2 years, he signed with 7 different teams: the Eagles, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, Jets, Bears, and eventually the one and only 49ers, where he would make his impact. Mostert was mostly on special teams, primarily returning kicks, as he was very fast. Coaches loved his burst and quickness, but they questioned him. He was too small, he was too injury prone, he's not built for 20 carries a game. For a while, it seemed like the NFL was a revolving door of people telling him what he could not do. However, he never quit. He went to the gym, he worked on his body, he studied film relentlessly, and improved in silence, in the background, never in the limelight. He never stopped believing in himself, And he said if he just got that chance, just one real chance, he'd make it count. And boy, oh boy, did that chance come in San Francisco. In 2017, the 49ers gave Mostert something different: playing time, consistent playing time. Instead of releasing him after a few weeks and throwing him back into the sea of NFL free agents, old and young, they kept him around. In 2018, he started to make some noise. First on special teams, then with flashes in the backfield. By 2019, he was ready for a breakout season. During the 2019 regular season, 4 years into his career approximately, Mostert led the 49ers in rushing yards despite splitting carries, which is pretty impressive. He gained vision, patience, and used that speed to turn him into one of the league's most efficient runners. But it was the 2020 NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers that turned him into a household name and would change everything in his life. That night, Mostert delivered a performance for the ages. I can remember it to this day. 29 carries, 220 rush yards, and 4 touchdowns. He was virtually unstoppable, slashing through defenders, bursting into open lanes, and I think he just refused to be tackled that night. He saw that opportunity, and he grabbed it. Oh, and that rushing total? Second most in NFL playoff history, behind the one and only Eric Dickerson. It was a surreal moment for a man who had spent the years in shadows and had spent his childhood in poverty. This was a huge win. Let's just give a moment real quick to tune into that game and go over a few clips from that amazing night. This is just incredible. Look at him go. Top NFL player right there.
Backfield, he gets it. Samuel out in front. Touchdown.
From nothing to something, from rags to riches, an NFL success story. 4 total amazing touchdowns, a truly goated legacy performance. A player who once couldn't hold a roster spot was now a highlight reel, and the reason his team was headed to the Super Bowl. Scoring a touchdown and proving his breakout game wasn't just a fluke. Later, he became a leader in the locker room due to his performance. He became a father, a mentor, and a voice for underprivileged youth, using his platform to advocate for them and anyone struggling with poverty and instability. He stayed humble. He credited his wife, his faith, and especially his mother for keeping him focused during the darkest periods of time within his life. Mostert then began to speak publicly about perseverance, family, and mental strength. For many, he became a symbol that no background is too broken, no road too long, no situation too dire. He didn't want his own family or anyone else to live the way that he lived, and he proved that it can be done. He had many more years in the NFL to come where he was a very efficient runner, even as injuries slowed him down in the later seasons. His legacy remained cemented. He wasn't just a fast guy who had one good game. He was a reminder that belief and discipline can outlast rejection. Raheem Mostert's story proves something simple but powerful. And my takeaway is that greatness isn't always born. Sometimes it's built over long, tough, difficult years. He didn't come from the 5-star camps we see nowadays or blue chip prep schools like IMG. He came from homelessness, heartbreak, and pain. But he turned all of that into fuel. Sometimes the most dangerous players aren't born stars. They are built from struggle, each year adding to that chip on their back. Raheem Mostert went from overlooked to unforgettable, from cut after cut to carving through NFL defenses on the biggest stage. And his story is something truly insane and rememberable. Thanks for watching. If this story inspires you even a little, please drop a comment below and let me know who you want to see in the next video and any feedback for this video. I'm a brand new channel, this is my second video, and I'm really trying to get better at this. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.